Hi guys, Darth Deuce here with another Hot Toys 6 scale figure review. Today we're taking a look at the most recent 6 scale figure I picked up. It is the Star Wars Darth Maul DX16 6 scale collectible figure. Really excited about this figure. I just got it today as of the recording of this video. And this is a really impressive figure. Not that I own a ton of Hot Toys, but I've accumulated a small number within the past couple months, and it's very likely that this one's my favorite of the ones that I own in terms of 6 scale figures. It's really good. So yeah, before we get into the figure, I actually want to take a quick look at the packaging here, which I don't usually do, but this one has really cool packaging because it's a deluxe figure. Now the packaging itself actually comes in the slip. It has a slip cover that is more your traditional Hot Toys packaging. Has an image, it's all black with the gray sides, has the image of the figure and then the title. But then when you take that off, you get this really cool box that this red detailing here, this kind of inked or sketched image of Darth Maul with this red here, the red Star Wars logo, Darth Maul. The presentation and the quality of this box is really nice. Flip around the side, it's kind of hard to see, but you do have the Star Wars logo there. On the back, he's got who worked on the figure and whatnot. On this side, you have a Darth Maul collectible figure, and actually at the very bottom, you can't really see, my lighting's not the greatest, but at the bottom you can see Disney logo. I didn't actually notice that at first. And then, flip it back around, get my light situated here. The whole side here is actually magnetic. It opens up, and that's not supposed to come apart like that, and then you get the whole box kind of open up here, and this, well, that just fell off. The figure would be right there. As you can see, he's not in there, of course, but on the cover here, you actually get this metal, I don't know, metal card or whatever that has an image of Darth Maul. It has Darth Maul on the side. Hot Toys, it's taped in there. I'm not going to remove it. I don't really think you can use it for anything as far as I know, so it's going to stay in there. And then on the door here, on the opening, you have the Sith emblem. You have Darth Maul down there, and you have just a little write-up on, you know, all the stuff you already probably knew about Darth Maul. So anyways, that is pretty much it for the box here, so I'm going to get out of the way. We'll take a look at the actual figure now. And now here we have Darth Maul in all his glory. I have him in his Sith robe here. I want to talk about the Sith robe first and get that out of the way because it's just a little finicky to deal with. But I have him here in a pretty, you know, neutral, generic pose, holding the lightsaber and having his cloak on. So I'm actually going to take the lightsaber out of his hand so we can take a close look at him with the robe on first. Alright, so now I got Darth Maul here. I got him in the Sith robe, and it looks pretty good in the robe. The robe is probably one of my least favorite things about this figure. It's not perfect. It's still like that it's included, and it's still not bad, but it could have been a bit better. But we'll take a closer look here, and we'll take a closer look at like the face and stuff in a second. I just want to cover the robe. The robe itself, the material that's made from, I'd say, is pretty high quality, pretty good. As you see, I've got the hood up here. The hood actually around here, around the brim, has a wire, so you can try to shape it how you want to. I feel it's quite finicky to actually get it to look good on Darth Maul's head. It likes to stick up a lot. His head likes to poke forward a bit too much, so it's kind of hard to kind of get it over to actually look like it's resting naturally and looking good. And obviously it looks pretty baggy, and it was kind of baggy in the movie, but it's hard to get the right shaping. On the front here, I don't know if you can see, you should be able to see. I'll bend it down just a little bit. There's actually a metal hook here, so you can actually just unhook that if you want, which I would say actually probably looks better, because when you hook it, that kind of flares out. Kind of flares out anyways. That looks kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie to you. But getting a side profile here, back them up. And getting the front side here, or back side rather, you can see they stitched it in the back here, so you can get that look it had in the movie. And the other's ribbing. I don't know if this is accurate. I'm assuming this is accurate looking, but it's kind of weird. You got the large sleeves. They're actually not much of any sleeves. They actually are open right here, and this kind of hangs down. These sleeve flaps, we'll call them sleeve flaps, actually do have a wide, Oh, I thought they had a wire. Yeah, they do have a wire. They have a wire in them, so you can bend them a bit. They're not crazy strong wires, but you can bend them a bit so they look like they're moving in the wind, theoretically, a little bit, so that's cool. Not a whole lot else to say. I kind of said my piece about how it's kind of finicky just to mess with, but that's pretty much all about the robe. I'm probably not going to display him like this. I'm going to take the robe off and display him in the final duel kind of look. Speaking of which, I will take the robe off now, and we'll take a close look at the actual figure. Alright, now we got Darth Maul out of the Sith Robe and in his normal shorter robes and tunic and whatnot. And this is my preferred way for him to look and to display. And he looks great, you know, the proportions look great. The head sculpt is phenomenal. He actually does come with an alternate one, which we'll take a close look at when we go to the accessories. But both are great. All the outfit is tailored really nicely. Good quality material, looks pretty accurate. Some pretty cool things going on. But first, let's take a look at the head sculpt there. And get the light shining on that. My camera's not going to bring it off the best, I'm finding, but the head sculpt, I would say, is phenomenal. The eyes look great. I love the eyes. They look really realistic, and the yellow and red, you know, Sithiness to them, I think looks really good. And you got the horns. The horns are nicely painted as well, and they're really sharp, so you want to be careful when you're putting on the different head sculpts and whatnot, or just posing it. They're pretty sharp, but it looks fantastic. I really do like it. He even has the earring in his ear there, which is really cool. Yeah, it looks awesome, man. My camera doesn't do it justice, unfortunately, but it looks fantastic. All the paint and everything is really sharply applied. Neat feature of both the head sculpts is that you actually do have articulated eyeballs. So what you can do is you get this little tool. Let me zoom out here a little bit. You get this little tool here. It's like this little tiny wrench thing. I don't know what you really want to call it. The head itself is actually attached via magnet, which I think is really cool. It allows for good articulation and makes swapping the head super easy. But if you can see, you can't really see in there because they don't have good lighting here. You get the lights. If you see in there, you can actually see where you put the thing in to move the eyes. So you can actually get him, the eyes articulated to look off the side, up, down, whatever you want to do. Let me give you another quick look at the head sculpt there. Looks fantastic. Anyways, let's put it back on the head there. I will show off the articulated eyes later on. But that looks really good. The rest of the figure, you know, pretty simple. You've got this tunic here, got the under tunic, and you got the over tunic, I guess. Looks really good. He's got gloves here, the gauntlet part, and the gloves are plastic. But what I like what they did here is that they actually made the longer end of the forearm part of the glove and then the actual gloves two separate pieces, so that you still get the wrist articulation. It was really cool. And one thing they did is they put this pleather material on the peg of the wrist joint to kind of make it look a little more seamless, which is also really cool. My only issue with that, I don't know if anyone else has issue with this figure in that regard. I find because of that pleather material that's on the peg, it can be kind of hard to get the hands pegged in all the way, and they like to pop off pretty easily. Don't know if anyone else has that issue, but I found that to be an issue. And then the belt here is actually a pleather material as well, which adds to the realism of the figure, which is really cool. I think I've heard the sideshow version of this figure. It's plastic, so I like that that's an actual more pleather material. That's cool. These lower robes here, the multiple pieces here, they actually do have some pretty thin wires, so they're not super strong. You're not going to get anything too crazy, but you can bend them a bit, like so. So it kind of looks like it's flowing or whatever with his motions. Makes the figure more dynamic, so that's always appreciated. And all of these are individually wired. I think that's pretty cool. Underneath, it just has some black trousers, nothing to talk about there. And then the boots, I'm getting in the way of the light here. The boots are really cool. They got this nice little design on them. They're just plastic, rubbery plastic, but they're actually designed in such a way where this piece here is sculpted to the part on the boot here, but then boot's actually a separate piece that wraps. It's a little hard to explain, but it's an interesting design and engineering choice. It hinders maybe a little bit of the pivot and whatnot, articulation, but not too much, and it looks really good, so I'm not gonna really rap about it too much. But overall, I think he looks fantastic. That's kind of where I'm getting at here. It's a fantastic looking figure, 100%. In terms of articulation, articulation is pretty good. Maybe a little bit of hindrances, but you want your Darth Maul to be acrobatic and articulated, and this one is. So like I said before, the neck joint here is at the base of the head is a magnet, so you get any sort of range of movement here as long as the magnet allows. There's also a joint in the base of the neck to give you a bit of extra head and neck movement. You got your shoulder joints, which move out about 90. They rotate a decent amount. I get a little bit cringy here because I don't want to tear this, but they go about that high, which isn't too bad. You gotta kind of mess with it a bit. It can get out of whack. Jeez. There's also a butterfly joint in there, so it works really well. You got rotation, and you got a double hinge at the elbow, and you got that joint at the wrist, which allows for rotation and then in and out or up and down, depending how you position it. Continuing on, he does have, waist joint here, crunches just a bit, it goes back just a bit, a little bit of rotation, and not really much any pivot. There's not a crazy amount of movement there. I wouldn't force anything too much. Hips, it can go out pretty good. It goes out further if you don't kick both out. Kicks forward pretty good. Rotation, double joint that clicks, goes almost to his ass. Rotation, and you got your ankle joints that move forward a decent amount, not too far back, and they do get a decent amount of pivot. You're gonna have to work with it a bit, but the articulation is there, and if you work around with it, you can get this guy in some really amazing and dynamic poses for sure. And in terms of accessories, Darth Maul comes with a lot of stuff because he is a deluxe figure, so let's take a look at that stuff now. Alright, here's all the accessories that Darth Maul comes with in the DX16 version, and this is also standard edition. If you got the special edition, like Sideshow exclusive or whatever version of this figure, you also got a hologram of Darth Maul, a little hologram Darth Maul. It's a little random, honestly. I don't know why it's himself. It would have made more sense to be Darth Sidious. And from where I got this from, it wasn't worth it to pay the significantly extra money for just a little hologram, plastic hologram, so I didn't get it because it's not really that exciting of an accessory, I'll be honest. But you get a decent amount of stuff. You also get some staple stuff, like you get some extra pieces, like some extra wrist joint pegs. You get a couple of the little knobs that go on the lightsaber hilt to put it on his belt. You also get a couple other little pieces, which I'm actually not sure where they go. I thought there might be two extra earrings, but they're not, because the earrings are part of the sculpt of the head, so I don't know what they're for. But anyways, a lot of stuff here. Let's go on real quick. So we already covered the soft goods robe. You do get a plethora of hands. You get the lightsaber gripping hands which I have on the figure. You get these two, I don't know what to call these hands. They're kind of open, but he's kind of pinching too, so it's kind of a weird hand. You get a pair of those. You get one right fist, one left fist, and you get one kind of force gripping right hand. You get a pair of relaxed hands, and you get a pair of splayed open, like force push hands. So good array of hands. I'm kind of surprised they didn't give you a pair of fisted hands, but I don't really care that much because I'm probably not going to display them with those hands. You get two different glove cuffs for the left side. You get this cuff, interchangeable cuff, which has the little device for controlling the probe droids that he has on Tatooine, so that's cool. You can interchange that. It's pretty easy to do. You just gotta take out the hand, slip it off, and then slip the new one on. And this cuff is for the, it opens up with this seam, which I'm not gonna do, but it opens up at the seam here, and that is for the other pieces behind it, which are the interchangeable LED lightsaber arms. You get two with this figure. You get one with the cut single hilt, and then you get one with the double bladed hilt. And the hilts on both these painted as well as the normal one you get with the figure. Like I've said before in my previous review on the Crate Luke, I don't particularly like the LED, or do not particularly care for. Not that I don't like them, I don't particularly care for the LED light up arms. They're a pain in the ass to swap out, and the reward isn't worth it because the LEDs aren't that good. Especially with red lightsaber characters, I find the light just does not carry through the red blades too well. You also get the Macaron Oculars they use on Tatooine. This is nicely painted and sculpted. I don't know who would actually display their figure using these, because that's a pretty boring pose in my opinion, but you know, someone might be their cup of tea, so you do get that, which is cool. You do get his lightsaber, of course, very nicely sculpted and painted, the buttons and all that jazz. You get the peg here, which does attach to the belt of his costume, which is good. You can actually split these in half. This one has the big old peg, but with this one you get this other piece which actually plugs up the hole and makes it look like it was sliced in half. You can see the circuitry and whatnot in there. That's really cool. So you can have them just a single blade if you want to. So that's really cool. I'm just going to put these back together for now. You get two standard lightsaber blades. Red. It is a very pinkish red. They're not pink, but it's a very light red. I would have liked them to be a darker red. The light red does help with the light for the LED to travel through them better, but it still doesn't work that well, so I wish they were darker. And you also get two of the swooshing in motion effect blades. You get the probe droid, which is pretty cool. It's nicely painted and sculpted as well. Give you a quick look at that and take a look at all the details real quick. It's very nice. You get a little clear stand for it so you can display it standing up. Get this big ass stand, which is quite bigger than normal figures, and it comes with the articulated arms, so you can get them in like jumping poses and whatever, which is really cool. And then you also get the alternate head sculpt, which if I get my light to actually shine on here, looks fantastic. He's got the screaming going on, he's got the full rage going on. Very dynamic looking head, looks very good. Eyes look great again, you know. And you can take the little wrench thingy, if I can find it. You can pose the eyes kind of how you want to. Don't know if that's going to look right, but it kind of does. But as you can see, I changed the direction of the eyes. Now he's looking over to the right. I'd have to go in and fix it a bit because I don't think this looks particularly correct. But yeah, you get the idea. You know, if you want to, you can make the Darth Maul look cross-eyed. I don't know why you'd want to, but you could if you wanted to. So that is pretty cool. So that is all the accessories. As you can see, it comes with a lot of stuff. One thing I'll show real quick. Bring this up. Shine our old light over here. I'll show you with the lightsaber on his belt here. It's pretty easy to do. Just move his arm out of the way and you just kind of slot it in there. And then that looks good. He's got the hilt on his belt. I'm going to get the lightsaber in his hand, put the alternate head sculpt on, so you just take a look at him, how he looks with the lightsaber in hand. So here's a look at him with the lightsaber in hand and the alternate head sculpt on. If it wants to focus, please focus. There we go. And obviously this is a terrible pose, but you get the idea. He holds the lightsaber really well and the head sculpt looks really good on him. One thing I want to do real quick, just a quick comparison with another 6 scale figure. Here he is with another prequel Sith Lord and his successor, Count Dooku, Darth Tyrannus. Put him right here with him. And as you can see, Darth Tyrannus is a lot taller than old Maul here. As you can see. But I think the scales here, Ray Park isn't super tall, but Christopher Lee is a pretty tall person, so I think the scale here is pretty good. And they look, you know, pretty cool together. It's cool to have these guys in Hot Toys form, both awesome villains and cool Sith Lords. So here, just give Darth Maul a quick little action pose here. It's not that good. I whipped it up in 2 seconds. I would definitely put a lot more effort into this pose if I was going to put him on the shelf. But he just gave you an idea of the articulation. You can do a lot of cool things with the guy, and overall this figure is really amazing. If you can get it for, a pretty decent price, not too much over retail, I would highly recommend picking this up if you're a Hot Toys collector and you're a Star Wars collector. Darth Maul is unless you really don't like Darth Maul is awesome. He's an iconic part of the Star Wars franchise, and I'd say this is probably one of the best pieces you could get for your collection to represent Darth Maul. Looks fantastic, great articulation, comes with a bunch of stuff. There's not much to not love about this figure. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I will see you all next video. May the Force be with you.